All right, awesome. We are live. And hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening, whatever part of the world you guys are joining from. I hope you are having a good start to day two of Unicon. I know we had an exciting day yesterday with a lot of fun sessions, and today is going to be equally exciting. And I'm looking forward to another amazing day and amazing speakers like Ismael and Jiajun joining us. I'll give a quick background of what we are going to talk about today. It's a hot topic. Everybody's been going gaga about AI, and we cannot have an event and not talk about AI, right? So, um, and since yesterday we've had this whole meme game going in the chat, so let's keep that running. Um, I would suggest like everybody just drop one favorite meme or a random meme or GIF that you want to drop in the chat. I'm obsessed about panda GIFs because my last name's Panda. So I'm going to start with that. Let's go have some fun. All right. Yes. Cool. So we're going to talk about AI in influencer marketing, and for that, I have two amazing guests today, Ismail and Jiajun. A little bit about their background. Jiajun Lu is the founder and CEO of A-Cool, which is a cloud company that provides AI-powered content and digitalization products for commerce. He's also one of the global leaders in artificial intelligence and computer vision. He's been featured among a list of top 50 CEOs of artificial intelligence companies. And then we have Ismail, who is the CEO of Social Publi. That's a leading micro influencer marketplace with over 300,000 influencers in 30 plus countries, 8 offices around the world. He is also an official member of the Forbes Agency Council, where he writes frequently about influencer marketing. Thank you so much for joining us, both of you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for having us.
Awesome. All right. So let's start off and address the main thing. What's the big deal with AI? And everybody's going gaga over it. And what does it mean for influencer marketing? Jajan, you want to go first?
Yeah. So AI has changed the influencer marketing actually a lot. One of the biggest thing is virtual influencers powered by AI. So it started with the 3D influencers that animate and interact with people, and then go to the 2D influencers. Actually, our platform also powers some influencer marketing. You can create custom influencers very easily with a photo, a short video. Then you can create a virtual influencer of yourself. You can use that virtual influencer to speak to different languages and interact with each users or clients or customers individually, face to face. So that dramatically changed the landscape of the influencer marketing. Lots of things that it's not possible before, but with AI and with AI powered virtual influencers, it becomes possible. Like 24/7, it's not possible for human. And like talking to every person, that's not possible for human. And quickly get summarize or feedbacks. And lots of things not possible becomes possible now. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Ismail, you've been working with a lot of influencers as well as brands. And what's your, take on how AI is changing influencer marketing?
So, I mean, AI has streamlined the way brands can find and reach, work with more influencers. So, right now, one of the areas that it has implemented influencer, AI is influencer analysis. You can analyze a profile and you can detect people who is look alike. Imagine you are looking for a girl in California who likes skiing and I don't know whatever other other options you want. Using AI, it can find instantly like thousands of people that can join your campaign. In our case, we are using micro influencers, so real people like any one of us. We are not using celebrities. Well, sometimes we use celebrities, but for micro influencers, it's very difficult to find some niche people. Like I said, people in California skiing over 20 and below 30 years old. That's very hard. I mean, you have to analyze every Instagram profile, and now with AI, you can find that in 10 seconds. But also, we are a platform that is working in 30 countries in 6 languages, and we are now translating everything to 6 different languages. I mean, our main language is English and Spanish because we are originally from Europe, from Spain, but we can translate everything into German, Italian, Brazilian, in a nutshell. And before that was impossible. But also, I think that the main opportunity that AI is bringing to the influencer marketing spectrum is detecting fraud. Fraud is the heart of it. When you go to influencer marketing, there are many people trying to cheat on the system. There are many people buying followers. There are many people, using bots to improve their metrics. And now with AI, you can detect and analyze, in real-time analytics, and only pay to those influencers that are really true and they are not, trying to scam or trying to cheat on the system and take advantage of the system. For me, this is the best part. Detecting influencers, but also detecting the right influencers and avoiding the fraud.
I think that's amazing, right? And fraud is definitely one of the bigger challenges here. And especially as brands, you spend a lot of time to identify the right influencers only to realize later that, a lot of the engagement metrics are off, and largely controlled by bots. And, surprisingly, Netflix has this show on the whole Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard thing. And I was watching it. And towards the end of that series, they try to show how a lot of this was influenced on social media because a lot of the pro Johnny Depp accounts were all bots, and a lot of the engagement on those posts were also by bots, and it's really hard to identify that as a regular human being. And over the period of that case, 20 billion views were made on all Johnny Depp related content on TikTok alone, right? That is a huge number. So, Ismail, you mentioned a little bit about how AI can help detect fraud. Uh, do you know of any tools? Like all the brands and marketers that are there on the chat here are listening to this. I'm sure they would love to know if there is something out there that they can use to help detect fraud.
Unfortunately, we are using our own technology. Of course, we are using Google and Microsoft APIs and a few APIs, but everything is developed in-house. But the thing is that, what we are doing is that we are paying regular people, like any one of us. And what we have seen in the past is that the first month that we are sending, the money to the influencers, or we are doing a PayPal to them, their followers database grows a lot because people think, okay, if I have 5,000 followers and I'm getting 100 euros or $100 per month, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to buy some followers, some fake followers, so I'm going to get more money next month. So what we are doing is that if your followers database is growing more than 20% in a single month, we will put you on quarantine and we will manually check that you are, if maybe you have been appearing on Forbes or on CNN, but in 99% of the cases, it's people buying followers. That's a human behavior, and we've been seeing that for the last 7 years. Once that people get money, they try to cheat on the system, and I don't know why. And it happens in all the 30 countries that we are working on, from Chile to Canada, in the United States, and the majority part of Europe. It's happening in all the countries. So this is something that we have to avoid. And what we are doing is that, using internal metrics. There are many other things that you could do. You could ask them. What we are doing is that we are asking them for the analytics for Instagram, for instance, on Instagram with Business Manager Analytics, and we are checking if that with AI, with some APIs, we are checking if that analytics are true, because there are many people, faking those numbers. And if you zoom out, you can see, that the 9 wasn't there before. So it's pretty obvious, but many people do that. So I'm so sorry that I don't know many external tools, because we are using APIs and we are developing everything at home. But even with common sense and taking a look at the profiles, and if the influencer doesn't give you the access to the analytics, this is because probably he's making something bad.
Got it. There's a question in the chat here, and I'm going to read it out. Mohammed Shoaib, he wants to know that he's trying to engage with AI companies. He wants to start his own AI related agency, struggling to find such companies. And how do you go engage with another AI company? Any tips on that? Jiajun, maybe you want
Yeah,
to take that,
sorry.
or Ismail?
Oh, so AI related agency company means how to help them to find influencers. I'm actually a little bit confused. What is AI related agency?
Yeah, I think what he's trying to say is he wants to start an AI related agency. So, build more AI solutions, I guess. Sure, maybe you can clarify your question here. But if he wants to work with more AI specific companies, how do you go approach them? How do you get started if you want to go build something with AI, let's say?
Yeah. That's a good question. So I think AI is becoming more and more open, especially in this generative AI wave. Lots of companies they build something, they provide APIs for us as well. We will provide APIs that you can easily access, and majority of the companies are very open to collaborate. So you just give them email or message, just reach out. And the majority of them also have self-service APIs. So the core abilities they just source out, and you can call their APIs and build something with AI and empower AI into your existing system. So it's being very open in this field.
Okay, Ismail, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, if I understood correctly, you are looking for companies to engage with who are in the AI field. So I will ask ChatGPT, find me a list of AI companies who are working in Denver or who are working in Canada or who are working in whatever, and you will have it in a second. That should be pretty fast and pretty obvious.
Yeah, using AI to solve that problem itself. Uh, all right. So we did talk about benefits of AI from a real person perspective, right? And yesterday also we had a few sessions where we were talking about how AI can help creators. Ismail, you shared a lot of examples how AI can help brands, identify fraud and identify the right influencers. Let's talk about virtual influencers, right? And it's picking up. It's not new, by the way. I think the first one was created in 2016. A lot of Asian virtual influencers have been anime inspired and have been around for a long time. But now we are at a time when a lot of big brands are also starting to play around with virtual influencers that they own and operate. Calvin Klein, Versace, Prada, a lot of these design brands, beauty brands have been experimenting. What do you folks think about virtual influencers? Is it good thing, not so good thing? Where is this space headed? Jiajun?
Yeah. So since we also work on virtual influencers, and I follow the track from the very beginning, so I have a picture of how it goes. So for the virtual influencers, initially people mainly work on the 3D ones, right? They have 3D model and animated, and these are very expensive. Lots of these operating these virtual influencers probably cost $500,000 or $1 million. That's not affordable for majority of the brands and small business. And now it goes to the direction of lowering the cost and making it more efficient, especially on the technology side with some videos. And that's on the involved on the technology side of the virtual influencers and how it will affect the business. Um, so virtual influencers definitely have lots of the advantage, but maybe comes with some disadvantages as well. The advantage is definitely like virtual influencer don't age, right? If you build a brand or you build an influencer and it ages, then that's not a good thing. You need to keep getting new virtual influencers for your brand. You need to keep getting new influencers. So virtual influencers last. So it can last over time, and you can do a deep bond with it. And as you spend marketing money to it, it will be there for tens of years. And the other thing is virtual influencer. You are able to really reach out to clients, um, like in lots of ways much better, such as multi-language. So it's very hard for influencer that can talk to their clients or their users in all the different languages. But with the virtual influencer, that's possible. And I think a lot of the brands is getting into this also because this is a very hot topic and people discuss about it. And the marketing, one of the core things with marketing is you want to catch the wave, right? And when the metaverse and the generative AI this wave comes, it becomes a topic, and everyone is really interested in it. People will willing to try it out. Then then it's a very good marketing point. So I know a lot of big companies begin to work on it because of the wave and because of want to get onto the news. That's also a very big reason why these brands get into virtual influencers. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things you said is, virtual influencers don't age. I was talking to another brand manager who works with virtual influencers, and they said something similar, right? Virtual influencers don't fall sick. They don't have mental health problems. They're always going to be in the mood that you want them to be, and they can show up to work every day, right? But what is the flip side of that, right? Ismail, have you seen any brands that you've been working with, or you're monitoring the space, where you've seen them either use virtual influencers well, or maybe at least understand what are the risks associated?
Yeah,
Uh,
I think.
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, I think that the worst case in using virtual influencer happened with Microsoft when they developed their own robot a few years ago. They were pioneers, and the robot became Nazi, in a day, because the robot started talking with people on Twitter, and the people feedback, you know, feed the robot. So you know, this is, I think this is the worst case scenario. And well, I'm surprised that many luxury brands, like you said, Prada, I like the Prada approach, or LVMH brands are using virtual influencers, because it's totally different than a luxury brand, or what a luxury brand sells, which is authenticity and unique experience. So that's why I got surprised. I'm not a very, I'm not a fan of the virtual influencers. I'm not an advocate of virtual influencers, but I don't mind. The thing is that I think that brands should disclose that you are not talking to a human, because if I think I'm talking to a human and then I discovered that there is no human at all, I may, feel bad about that. I may feel, that the brand hasn't been clear to me. But I mean, that's okay, because in big brands, the community managers is not a person itself right now. They are a team of people managing one account. So this could be the same. The thing is that instead of a person, there is a virtual assistant or something, and that's fine with me. I'm not a very big advocate, but you have, like a brand, I think that you have to disclose that, because if not, and also it's very important for brands to to not promoting unrealistic body and life standards. That there are many this is a very controversial topic, because women especially tend to be more beautiful than the influencers. And if everything is fake, and everything is generated with AI, women and men, but especially women, could be looking at a mirror that doesn't exist. So you are not gonna be, you can never be as beautiful as an AI influencer. So that's why I think this is especially important for child and younger people.
Yeah, that's definitely something to be careful of. Jiajun, you were also trying to say something.
Yeah. So I think one of the problem with virtual influencer is probably for them, like if you want to product some products or product some lifestyle, then virtual influencer don't have a concept of that, right? So it's the credibility may be a little bit lower. So the credibility will be depends on the credibility of the team behind it. So that will be a little bit challenge. So maybe someone, if you want to product a product, then maybe someone in the team need to try that out, and feel it's really good, then you promote that. So that's about the virtual influencer. But there's one more thing is the technology advances, right? So everyone can, so even like originally they are real influencers, they can create a copy of themselves as a virtual influencer, and they can even make that copy like look better or somehow, and then they can use that virtual influencers to help them in some cases or in some situations. So there is also some advantages of that. In general, I think the disadvantage mainly maybe on the credibility side of the system. So the team behind it need to be responsible for that.
So, should your brand work with AI influencers or even think about starting your own AI influencer? How do you answer that question? At what point do you know, should I go start this for my brand or should I go explore working with AI influencers? Ismail?
Like I said, I'm not a big fan. But I will only use virtual influencer if I was in that AI field. I mean, if I'm an AI oriented company, I should, because you are, putting your money where your mouth is. If I'm in this particular field, like luxury, I don't really like that approach. But this is my personal take on that. But of course, what you have to do is make a list of the values and of the things that you want to promote, and you want to all the values that you want to give to this virtual influencer, to be aware of that, and because you can make this, of course, this virtual influencer to follow the lines that you are setting. And I will set the lines very clear with the do's and the don'ts. I think that's the best thing to do. Not only with virtual influencers, also with community managers, of course. But I will take it, in the same way that if I'm going to hire a group of community managers to manage my account.
Got it. Jiajun, what do you think? At what point do you think as a brand you start either working with virtual influencers, or let's say if I want to start my own virtual influencer, what point, how do you decide that, okay, now it's time?
Yeah, I think for big brands and small brands, there is a reason for them to start to work with virtual influencers. For big brands, I think they already work with lots of influencers. So virtual influencer is just one more influencer, right? But if they find it works very well, then they can gradually to expand the investment in the virtual influencers. But they already work with so many influencers. Why don't they just add one or two more? It doesn't matter much for them. And for the small brands, it's about the cost. So the virtual influencer, the cost is still lower than the real influencers. I know a lot of the influencers, they want to help you to post something or promote something. They charge pretty expensive. But the virtual influencers, the cost is lower, and also you can usually do it like unlimitedly. Right? Basically the on the tech company side, the cost is very low, and very minimum labor involved. You can even, if you are interested, you can even create a virtual influencer of yourself. I'm doing the brand. I'm the founder or something. I just create a virtual influencer of myself. I represent my brand myself. I make myself into a virtual influencer for my own brand. That could also be a concept. That's not possible with real influencer. Not everyone likes to talk in public, and not everyone is able to be an influencer. But if you just create a virtual influencer, then you can just create the image and then handle it to your team or handle to someone else to handle it. Even if you manage it yourself, it's easy. So,
yeah, and
I will spend some time, reading the comments, because you have to, like you were saying, you have to see if the community is perceiving that in a good way or not, and you have to change or tweak whatever it needs to be changed. I think that the feedback is always very welcome. Without feedback, you cannot improve. No matter if this is a virtual influencer or a real influencer, I will do that. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. Feedback is very important.
Yeah. So one of the things that's typically a difference, right? And let's understand a little bit more about how these AI influencers work, right? Like there is this AI influencer concept, and there are these things called VTubers or virtual YouTubers, where one is an artificial version of yourself as an influencer, and you don't want to put your real self out there, which is a true concern for a lot of people, and you use a virtual mask, so to say, right? So but there's also the whole AI powered influencers, where they train on models that are already available, and they scout through information and create their own identities. Is there a way on how you can still manage that? Jiajun, can you answer that?
So you mean how to manage
What way do you
yeah.
go, right? So
Oh, which one?
I mean, do you let the machine learn itself and just feed some data and let that machine figure out what this AI influencer should be all about?
Yeah. That's a very good question. So I know some of the influencers, they're the people behind it, and they animate it. They do something, and the influencer do exactly the same thing, right? They just want to hide their appearance. That's it.
Yeah.
And some other influencers, you train their AI on all the data, and maybe you even show your own appearance. There are two different approaches. So based on my feeling, it depends on the brands or depends on your audience who you are selling to. If you are selling some toys or something, maybe like more kids stuff, maybe you hide your real appearance and put some cartoon stuff out there, will be pretty good. But for a lot of other things, maybe people wants to see the real person or looks more real. That gives you more feeling of authentic, and also gives you more personal touch compared to some cartoon stuff or some I know some very uh, very fake YouTubers, VTubers. So yeah, that's my feeling. So I think I would I would like to go to the more real style, and also the reality shows. It's based on the market. So the market initially started with these very fake ones, like the 3D very fake ones, but now the market is pretty dominated by these real person like virtual human and virtual influencers. So these
All right.
real human looks like was just do better in the market. So.
All right, we have just a minute to go. Ismail, any closing thoughts on AI in influencer marketing?
Yeah, I just want to add that we in social public we use people, real people, of course. And when the client, imagine Pepsi is going to launch a promotion, and the client says, "Okay, use my image. I'm giving you my image, or this particular image, for you to post on Instagram." It has an engagement rate, let's say 1% or 2%. If the client says, "Okay, do whatever you want, express yourself in your own way, and do whatever following one rules or guidelines," the engagement rate is almost 3 times. So that's why I don't believe in virtual influencers at all. That I do prefer real people just because of that. And especially on TikTok, this is happening today. TikTok is the network with more engagement rate. There are campaigns with almost 40% of engagement rate because people wants to interact and wants to answer to real people. But if we could use AI to simulate that, that's okay. I mean, I'm always welcome to try. So but don't forget the value of the humans, and of course, using AI whenever or for the purpose that you need to use it, and that's all.
Yeah, that's spot on. I think AI is there to help us get better at what we do, and the best we make use of it, we win in that way. And let's not forget the human aspects, right? So thank you so much, gentlemen. I mean, it was great talking to you. I'm sure the audience learned a bunch of things about AI, and particularly in the influencer marketing context. Thank you so much for this session.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.